You ever feel like life keeps handing you the same lesson, but with a different outfit on? Like no matter how far you run, you bump into the same version of you, just wearing new clothes. Now, let me give you something wild. What if you never actually changed? You've just been covered. What if the real you never left? You just stopped being readable. And what if every breakdown, every setback, every moment you called rock bottom was actually God pulling the sleeves off your soul so your original code could finally be seen? I have to tell you something massively important. I know this is for you. You're not falling apart. You're being uncovered. Let me start to explain this thing. Because I had this moment the other night where I realized I wasn't fractured, confused, or lost. I was layered. I had fear layered over faith, noise layered over intuition, chaos layered over God. And I kept asking myself, yo, why am I like this? Why do I forget who I am? Why do I return to old patterns I no longer want? And then it hit me. It wasn't identity crisis. It was identity burial. A whole life piled on top of the original me. Hear those words, man. Because here's the craziest part. The original me was still alive, still breathing, still waiting. Like DNA covered a sleeve, the information wasn't gone. It was just unreadable. Now, let me get clear and start breaking this down with some logic. Science, it says your DNA can be covered by proteins, like literal sleeves, that block your body from reading what's actually there. Hear that? But the moment the environment shifts, the sleeves fall off, the code gets exposed, and the cell remembers exactly who it is. Really think about how poetic that is. You're not reprogramming yourself. You're removing what life covered you with. Watch how this works. Fear is a sleeve. Trauma is a sleeve. Silence is a sleeve. Abandonment is a sleeve. Trying to please everybody. Yep. It's a sleeve. Your spirit wasn't erased. It was hidden. And when you start hearing God again, when faith cuts through the fog, when peace suddenly feels familiar, that's not you changing. That's the sleeve coming off. You ever notice how the moment you finally get quiet, all your old patterns start panicking? If you felt that, that's not backsliding. That's the sleeves slipping. You see, calm threatens everything that's been covering you. Your stillness is demolition. And your spirit knows exactly what is underneath. Now let's keep taking this deeper without getting too techie. This part 2 just blew my soul away. The earliest Torah, considered to be the true Bible, handed directly to Moses, at least in theory. It had no chapters, no verses, no punctuation. It was one continuous string, one unbroken revelation. The significance. That is you, the conscious image of God and Creator. Your consciousness is a continuous script. No clean chapters, no perfect edits, no act breaks. Just one long stream of becoming. But see, what happened is trauma inserted periods you never wrote. Fear added commas where God intended flow. Society added paragraphs that weren't yours. But the original story, the original you, still intact, still continuous, still waiting to be read straight through. So when life feels chaotic, it's not because the script is broken. It's because you're reading it out of order. Think of it like this. Your soul is the full movie. Your trauma is the commercials. The commercials are loud, but they were never the feature. Now let's get to the part nobody teaches, because this too is critical. Scientists accidentally called 98% of your DNA junk, dark matter, useless, irrelevant. Until they realized that is where the switches live. I'm talking the regulators, the blueprint shifters, the identity selectors, not the visible part, the hidden part. And spiritually, your dark matter is the subconscious archive where God hid your remembrance. Yeah. Your dreams, your gut instinct, your deja vu, your sudden clarity, your quiet knowing. It's not darkness. It's storage. You are not confused. You're covered. You're not empty. You're encrypted. And when your environment changes, your soul switches flip. Faith activates dormant memory. Silence restores lost signal. Stillness reboots buried truth. You see, you don't find God. God is reactivated. Like, you ever realize the thing you're most afraid of isn't failure? It's awakening. Yeah. Because once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you hear, you can't unhear. Once you remember, you can't pretend you forgot. You see, awakening comes with accountability, responsibility, authority. Awakening demands more from you than sleep ever will. Think about that. And let's pull this in close for a second. Because all this talk about sleeves and scripts and dark matter, it only matters if you can use it. Because identity isn't theory, consciousness isn't metaphor, faith isn't philosophy. It is application. So let's operate it, because it's that time to do you. So let's do you, and let's do you together. 5 moves, 1 consciousness, faith meets functionality. It's time for us to remember. You want to start with disrupt. Catch the moment fear tries to cover you again, because it will try and try and try. Now, I'm overwhelmed becomes no. Something old just got exposed. Disrupt when fear tries to cover you. Then you want to own it. Don't judge the sleeve. Just name it. Like, that was my mother's fear. Or, that's my old survival code. Skip the though. Naming removes power. You got to own it. Then you want to yield. Give your system a second to breathe. You don't force clarity. You let the sleeve fall off at its own pace. God got you. Then you want to observe. Watch how your body reacts when faith starts uncovering what fear hid. Awakening feels like anxiety at first. Observe that. It'll go away, although it hurts. Then you want to unleash. Move from the uncovered you, not the edited you, not the wounded you, the readable you, the you God wrote in continuous script. Those are your 5 moves. That's one consciousness. My beautiful community of influencers, in our final moments together, let me be a humble reminder. You are not rewriting your life. You are rereading it correctly. You are not creating a new identity. You're remembering the uninterrupted one. You see, God didn't hide from you. Life hid you from God. And tonight, today, together, the sleeves are coming off. To God, the all, the infinite, uncover me. Peel back the layers fear wrapped around my soul. Strip away the noise, the doubt, the inherited wounds. Restore my readability. Reveal my original code. Wake up the dark matter where you stored my memory. Let me hear you clearly, follow you fully, and remember you daily. Bring you back, bring God back, because you own it or be owned by it. You either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.